Hello, class. Today I am here with my aunt,
Adriana Varela.
and we will be conducting an interview regarding the death penalty.
Okay, to start us off, what is your overall stance on the death penalty? Do you support it, oppose it, or feel conflicted about it?
I feel conflicted about it because morally, as a Christian, I don't feel I should judge somebody. But seeing what I've seen throughout my career, there's a lot of evil out there. And in some instances, I kind of think the death penalty should be reinstated in the state of Illinois.
Mr. Jones published a book titled The Problem with Capital Punishment and Why It Should Be Abolished in America. Throughout this book, he strongly argues that capital punishment should be abolished. The following questions will explore the author's arguments and ask for your thoughts on them, drawing on your current knowledge and experience within the court system. Let's start off with the three main reasons Vincent argues that people continue to support the death penalty. The first theory is of deterrence. This theory claims that in order to prevent the rampant commission of violent crimes, an equally harsh penalty must be used to deter or influence others from committing the same or similar offenses. Do you agree with this theory?
Not really. Sometimes I don't think the penalty matters. People will do what they want to do no matter what. I can think of one instance where there were three kids who just decided to go in a car riding around, and the one kid felt like shooting somebody for no good reason. Some people go for a run, other people go for an ice cream, and this young man decided that he was going to shoot the first person he saw, and they were riding around the car, and there was a nice young man there, young boy, chubby, and he just shot him and didn't care about anything else. After that, they left him, shot him in the back of the head, left him there dying, went to McDonald's, had lunch, and then went home and took a nap. And that was it.
So just to clarify, you believe criminals typically don't consider the consequences of their actions before committing crimes?
Absolutely not.
The next theory focuses on retribution, which asserts that extreme offenses should be met with equally extreme punishment. What do you consider to be extreme offenses in your experience?
One case comes to mind. There was a young man, an only child, and his parents owned a construction company, and they did not allow him to smoke marijuana in the house. He was only 18. And he became upset with that, and he decided that he should just kill his parents and take over the construction business at 18, not even of legal age, 21. So he asked 4 of his friends if they could help take out his parents, and they did. They came in while they were sleeping and took a hammer and a bat to their heads, killed them in bed, and obliterated their entire bodies. They found the mom's brains on the walls, as well as blood. Her teeth were knocked out. Teeth were all over, scattered all throughout the bedroom. That's an extreme offense. I don't think that anybody could do the same punishment to this young man and the other boys that helped him execute this act.
Professor Jones's final theory claims that executing the offender often provides closure for the victims and their families. Do you agree with this? Would you argue that executing the offender only leads to more pain and trauma for both parties involved?
Victims of families sometimes want an eye for an eye. And so in some instances that could bring closure to them. On the other hand, it brings pain and trauma to the family of whoever's being executed. It's a difficult question to answer because on the one hand, they may be able to serve out their term in prison, but there's things that go on in prison that you don't think about as a normal person. People are beaten, raped, there's a whole nother life in there that you don't think about as you're sitting here on the outside. So if the defendant or the accused is living that life, being raped every day, would he prefer death? I don't know. And the same thing for their families. If his family knew what he's being subjected to every day of his life, would they prefer death for him so that the pain could go away? I don't know. That's a difficult question.
Thank you for your insightful and thoughtful responses. We are now going to shift to discussing specific aspects of Mr. Jones's arguments for why he believes capital punishment should be abolished and the role the court system plays in these issues. Based on your current knowledge regarding the Eighth Amendment, do you consider the death penalty to be cruel and unusual?
I don't know. I can think of a case where this man killed his girlfriend over something trivial, and then he slashed her little girl, 4-year-old girl's throat. And when she fell like a rag doll, he slashed her on this side. And when she fell like a rag doll, she fell like this. And so that inadvertently stopped the bleeding. And when the police found her, that little 4-year-old ended up living because she herself stopped the blood. So in that instance, would execution be cruel and unusual punishment for him? I don't think so. Part of me thinks that he should suffer the way his girlfriend suffered and the way that little girl suffered, and continues to suffer probably until the rest of her life.
While that may be true, not all executions go as planned, and sometimes offenders experience pain. In that case, would you consider it to be cruel and unusual?
No, because if they're up for the death penalty, that means they probably killed somebody. And do you think that they considered whether what they were inflicting on the victim was cruel and unusual? Do you think for a minute they even thought about that? No, maybe they even enjoyed watching what they were doing. And so no.
I'm positive throughout your career you've encountered a variety of different types of lawyers. Mr. Jones often argues that in capital punishment cases, lawyers are frequently underqualified. Have you ever witnessed a poorly prepared lawyer in court?
Absolutely. I've witnessed a lot of. Sometimes lawyers will take a case based on the amount they're going to get paid or the amount they charge, not necessarily on their knowledge. That's why if you're going through a divorce, you should get a divorce lawyer. If you're going through, if you have a DUI, you should get a lawyer who specializes in DUIs. But I have not seen a case yet where it's a not death penalty case, but an important case where the lawyer is not prepared, because I have not experienced that.
Moving on, there has been a persistent problem of false confessions in death penalty cases. Some of the factors leading to wrongful convictions have been identified as eyewitness identification, unqualified defense counsel, misconduct by prosecutors, and false confessions. What's your opinion on this? Considering that these factors could contribute to the execution of an innocent person, do you still support the death penalty?
You have to jump through so many hoops to get to a conviction. There's motions that you go through. There's a whole myriad of things that before you get to the actual trial. And now with DNA technology and other means that are available, I mean, it could be 1 in a million or 1 in 100,000, I'm not sure, but I think that by the time they get to trial and they are found guilty, they're guilty.
Mr. Jones argues that life without parole is the best alternative to the death penalty because it completely removes the risk of executing the innocent, along with offering other benefits. Do you personally believe life without parole is a better option than the death penalty?
It's expensive to house criminals. It's very expensive, especially the numbers are like from, I don't know, 33,000 to 100,000, depending on what state you live in, per year. But then they won't be dead.
Thank you. We've reached the end of the interview. After discussing various factors on why the death penalty should be abolished, what is your final stance on the issue?
I guess after this interview and remembering the couple cases that come to mind, I think I do support the death penalty, even though it's not here in Illinois. It's not Illinois law, but I do. So thank you for the interview.